Good morning. It's the 3rd of August 2018. It's 10:45 in the morning. This is going to be a very short video just to introduce myself really. It's the first video I'm uploading onto the website. I'm going to make sure that it's it can be viewed by anyone, because obviously I have no control who goes onto the website and has a look. So I'm going to be very conscious and very aware of that. And yet at the same time, the one thing about my passion for this subject of CSA and helping young people have a deeper form of understanding as to what's going on to them is genuineness, is congruence, is being real. So the first thing I want to say, and it's interesting because I'm also conscious that when I've spoken to other professionals about this, there can be some defensiveness occur. So I'm just going to really put it out on the table, and who appreciates this and who can take this on board, great. Those that can't, no offense meant. When I say being genuine, one of the important things growing up and seeking help myself and speaking to hundreds of young people around this subject. When I say hundreds, I'm underestimating, it could be in the thousands, but I'll say hundreds. Speaking to young people around this subject, the language that is used toward them when in conversation with them is interesting. For example, and I'll give a couple of examples and I'll go off just to kind of give you an idea of where I come from when it comes to giving presentations to both professionals, people that are looking after or have young people in their care, but also when I'm addressing young people. So for example, all the research that we see, all the statistics that we see around CSA speaks of psychological issues for future psychological issues for victims. I agree with that 100%. I've had them myself. I deal with them on a daily basis myself. This is part of the issue, and where I'm saying that we need to be very careful about our language, because a lot of young people, myself included, which is part of the reason why I raised the question with young people when I speak to them, is when I heard psychological issues, I interpreted that as I'm not going to be able to function in society. Sorry for the background noise, it's so hot, I need to leave the window open. Not being able to handle functioning in society is how that translated to me, psychological issues. Now, as most professionals, I'm not going to say all, as most professionals understand, when we're talking about psychological issues, we're talking about a varied kind of scale. For a lot of people, it's trust issues. For a lot of people, it's boundary issues. There's so many. But the way it translates to a lot of young people is, I'll be medicated, I'll be sectioned, I won't be able to function. So the moment that they hear, read, or a so-called professional says to them, you will have, or there's a possibility that you will have. I'm not saying that many people will say it in that way, of course. However, the moment that a young person is aware that there will be psychological issues, a lot of young people, and the vast majority actually, when I've spoken to them, from my experience, interpret that as, I'm in trouble. I'm going to be sectioned in hospital and not be able to cope, not be able to function. And we know that isn't the case, because again, statistics backs that up. That yes, there will be psychological issues such as trust, such as boundaries. I'm just going to name those two at the moment, but we know that there are many. but issues that can be worked with and handled so that people can function in society and, more importantly, function with themselves. So this is the first one I've realised. I only wanted to do this for 5 minutes. This is my issue, by the way. I could talk forever. So I'm just going to stop right now and say that's the first one. Just introducing myself so you can see the person who's behind this website. Get an understanding. I'm going to upload more of these so people can get more of an understanding of the training that and the presentations that I give, both to professionals and young people. But yeah, it's just that bit is about language. There's so much around that on being careful with language. Of course there is, but stuff that I think most of us it's right in front of our faces and we can't see it because it's so obvious to us that we're just using this language, but it's the interpretation of that by the young people that we need to be really aware of. So it's just explaining that in a deeper way, in a more basic way. Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching.